Today, I'm going to create my own hockey team in NHL 26. Introducing the Paris Pylons, one of the newest teams of the PHL, will be implemented into the NHL. There is one glaring issue with this roster. I don't have any players. Outside of P. Shorzy at a 91 overall, this roster is not good. A bunch of low 70, 60 overall players. Defensively, we might even be worse. We don't have any single defenseman that can hold their own. And then we got Jean-Francois Berube as our starter at a 75 and Oscar Dansk as our backup. I highly doubt you know who these guys are. Welcome to the one-player rebuild challenge, where I will be starting with only one superstar in the form of P. Shorzy and trying to win a Stanley Cup for the Paris Pylons in NHL 26. This might be tough. Just as predicted, we were not a good team whatsoever. We're going to finish the season with a record of 19-54-9. Good enough for only 47 points. That's tough. The worst team in the National Hockey League by a good mile. Only 47 points. Calgary had 65. Of course, I did remove the Columbus Blue Jackets. Straight poverty franchise. Individually, despite not having any teammates, Shorzy put up 47 goals, 75 points, and was a minus 22. The dude also had 205 penalty minutes. He was out there chucking them. Harkins had 63. Cogliano 53. Nestorenko had 42. We got Joakim Ryan, I should say. 6 goals, 30 apples on the back end. And then between the pipes, I mean, Jean-Francois Berube had an 8-35-6 record. Actually had a 908 save percentage somehow. And then Oscar Dansk had a 900. Not the goaltenders that are going to lead you to a Stanley Cup. Let's just get out of the first season so I can go ahead and start cooking in the offseason. Trying to bring some players to Paris and trying to win this franchise a Stanley Cup. The third time is the charm for Edmonton as they finally take home the Stanley Cup, dominating the Maple Leafs in 5 games. Nice. Individually, McDavid led the way with 13 goals, 34 points. Matthews somehow actually performed in the postseason. Draisaitl had 30, Nylander 29, Shaq Hyman did his job, Evan Bouchard came up clutch yet again. Also shout out Ovi, only played 18 games but had 6 goals and 22 points. Bah! Connor McDavid will win the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard to Nathan McKinnon. The Art Ross and Hart Trophy will go to Leon Draisaitl. We got Evan Bouchard winning his first ever Norris. The Calder, of course, to P. Shorzy. Conn Smythe to Connor. Vezina to Andrei Vasilevsky. And the Selke to Anze Kopitar. We will be gifted the NHL Draft Lottery, selecting first overall, the worst team by far in the NHL. Step 1 has been completed. Goodbye to all these NHL bums. Selecting first overall obviously means that I will be taking Gavin McKenna, and that is going to speed up the rebuild process. Franchise medium potential, 84 overall. That guy's legit. The rest of the drafting process is me selecting gems. We are going to start with Halmerson, 2A forward, elite low potential, NHL ready in 5 seasons. And we're just going to move on to pick number 65. Going back to the gem column, although this guy's a sniper, NHL ready 5 years, it's pretty much the same time frame. So we are going to take the defenseman, top 6 medium. Wait, whoa. Top 6 medium? That cannot be correct. This guy has to have better potential, and there it is. Top 4 medium, 57 overall. I cooked. Gavin McKenna, of course, needs to be signed to his entry-level contract. He will accept that. But almost everybody else on the roster is not signed. So these guys are going to walk. I'm not going to be re-signing them. We are going to go out in free agency and try to build a brand new team heading into season number 2. Let's go. I'm going to go out on a limb and try to grab John Cooper and bring him to Paris. Arguably the best coach in the National Hockey League right now, one of the best coaches of all time. Welcome to Paris. Praying that the man signs. We got some interesting UFAs available, but there is an RFA that is catching my eye in the form of Thomas Harley. The man wants $13 million. Dear God. We'd basically have to get rid of all of our draft capital, so I'm not going to make this move. I mean, if he wanted less money, I'd go for it. Not my deal. Matthias Ekholm would not be a bad trade piece. The man's a little bit older, 36 years old, $6.4 million over the next 2 seasons. We'll give him that contract. Vander Kane, no. Patrick Kane, yes, we will bring in. The greatest American-born player of all time, Patrick Kane himself. Crank up the AAV a little bit. We'll go 7.8 for Patty Kane on a 1-year contract. We'll go 2 years instead, and he's going to get back to me. 6.3, 4 seasons for Andrei Kuzmenko. Patrick Fortnite Laine, another guy I want to bring to the franchise on a lower AAV, but a full no movement clause. 5.2, 5 seasons, NMC in the move. The man accepted on the spot. 4.9 for 4 seasons for Darren Radish from Tampa Bay. Mike Matheson from the Montreal Canadiens, another defenseman that we are going to bring to this franchise on a $5.9 million contract. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit more than that. We'll go like 6 mil, 4 seasons. I'm going to go out on a limb for Adrian Kempe, not giving him a no movement clause, but cranking up the AAV and a potential trade. He definitely can be a piece that we move off of probably at the trade deadline, just to give us more trade assets. So 13.1 on a 6-year contract with no clause in it. We'll see if he accepts. Damn, John Cooper straight up rejected us and re-signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I gotta be honest, I cannot blame the guy. Ryan Huska now becomes my guy, considering John Cooper absolutely snaked us. He made it seem like he was gonna sign with our roster and then just a decline last minute. Welcome in Showtime Patrick Kane, signing in Paris, as well as Matthias Ekholm. Adrian Kempe accepted. Andrei Kuzmenko is gonna go with Nashville. Gustafsson rejected. He's going to Pittsburgh. Mike Matheson is coming to Paris. Ian Cole accepted. Adam Lowry is going to the Avalanche. Jack Roslovic is coming to the Pylons. The roster on paper honestly looks pretty good. McKenna with Shorzy and Adrian Kempe. Patrick Kane alongside Line and Perron. Roslovic is our third line center with Johansson and Therapy. Fourth line isn't even that bad compared to last season. Defensively, we got a whole lot better. Ekholm, Gudas, Darren Radish alongside Matheson. Then we got Cole and Burns. Goaltending wise, Jonathan Quick in the big 2025. Not really a starting caliber goaltender any longer. He's still a GOAT. Of course, Shorzy will be the captain of the roster. He is the future of the franchise. Most of these guys will probably be gone by years 3, 4, and 5. The Paris Pylons, one of the newest teams in the PHL. Rate the jerseys 1 to 10 in the comments below. I am fully expecting not to be a good team yet again this season. Trading Adrian Kempe at the deadline and then just waiting for the right moment in free agency where there's a bunch of big name free agents. I have a shit ton of salary cap space available. I go all in, grab some superstars, bring them to Paris, and bring a championship to this franchise. That is my lone goal, and I will be getting it done. Somehow at the deadline, we actually have a winning record. It is unbelievable, but it is the truth. Quinn Hughes is on the market. He does need to be re-signed. Potentially could give up Adrian Kempe for him, although the trade value might not be equal. Thomas Harley's yet to get a contract. Jason Robertson, dear God. The Dallas Stars are in shambles. Never would I think that Adrian Kempe would have this little trade value. There's no way we get that trade done. Quinn Hughes is not coming to Paris. The Pylons are going to have to move on to a different deal. What about Vince Dunn for Adrian Kempe? We can't do it straight up. We'll probably have to give somebody else to them. Maybe this Hellison guy's got a little bit of trade value. Our draft picks are really valuable right now. So if I'm going to give up one, it's going to have to be like a 2031, 2029 round 3 draft pick to the Seattle Kraken, and they have accepted my offer. Vince Dunn, welcome to the Pylon. You'll fit right in. The moment of truth. Vince Dunn wants 7.7 over the next 5 seasons. He's 30 years old. That will lead him up until he's 35. If we go no clause in the contract, we might honestly be able to get this to go. Let's go 7-7 over the next 5 seasons for Vince Dunn to return. He accepts on the spot. Not even that bad of a record, if I'm being honest. 38, 40, and 4, 80 points, still dead last in the Metro, but we're improving at a very quick rate. I mean, we did sign a lot of players in the offseason. The Edmonton Oilers, reigning defending champs, will win the Presidents. Tampa Bay, Florida, Philly, and Toronto, all in the top 5. And at the bottom, we got Seattle, Boston, and Dallas, and there is the Paris Pylons. Not too far away. We're probably not going to get a top 3 overall pick, but we'll definitely get a top 10 pick, right? Please. Shorzy had 51 goals. 92 points. Gavin McKenna as a rookie was pretty good. 61 points, 16 goals. Patty Kane showed out. David Perron was decent. Patty Laine, not really the goal scorer that he once was due to Fortnite. Therapy had 49. Roslovic 44. Vince Dunn, the future of our back end. And then Jonathan Quick, an .899 save percentage, 3 shutouts, and 25 wins. He's here for a good time, not a long time. McDavid will have the most points at 135 and the most goals at 62. The GOAT! Le Montreal will get it done over the Vancouver Canucks in the Stanley Cup Finals, and that is back-to-back seasons that a Canadian team gets it done. Canada back on top. Cole Caulfield led the way, breaking the single playoff goal record at 23. He also had 34 points. Suzuki 32, Nylander 26. Matthews had a good playoff run, although it was only 16 games. Jake DeBrusk is a superstar in the postseason, and Quinn Hughes for Vancouver. This will be his final season with the Nucks. Connor McDavid is Connor McDavid. Cale Makar the Norris, the Conn Smythe to the Cock, Vasilevsky the Vezina, and the Selke to Nico Hischier. The Los Angeles Kings will move up from number 11 all the way to 1, while Paris will actually bump down 2 slots to 9th overall. Nicholas Backstrom's retiring, Logan Couture, Alex Pietrangelo, and the GOAT that is Milan Lucic. Number 9 overall for the Pylons. Johnny Goalie is available. I know we don't have a starting goaltender of that caliber yet, so this is going to be a very easy decision. 9 overall, elite medium or elite high potential, 79 overall. Let's see how he shapes up. Grayson Shaw is available, a sniper, top 6 medium potential, so we're going to grab him at the center position. 6'7" overall. There currently is an enforcer defenseman available in the NHL draft. Vigilante, elite medium. I have to take this guy. I just got to see the potential. No! That was an absolute whiff of a pick. Overall, I do think it was a very good draft for Paris, hopefully. Some of these contracts will be coming off the books, like Patrick Kane's only got 1 year left at 7.8. Matthias Ekholm, I tried moving him, didn't really get it done. Farabee, probably not going to come back. Ratko Gudas, see you later, bud. We have $25 million in cap space available. Let me see what free agency looks like after I sign my future goaltender. That will be Johnny Goalie, baby. Quinn Hughes is available in free agency. The man wants 16.8, though. I didn't even raise the salary cap, and he's still asking for the absolute bag. He is a 97 overall at the end of the day, though. He doesn't sim that well. I'm not going to go after him. Instead, I'll probably grab some smaller players. We don't need a goaltender. We got Johnny Goalie coming up, although I do want to bring back Jonathan Quick. That guy can return. He had a solid season, especially now that he can become the backup. Welcome back, buddy. I'm not going to lie. I might wait a season and not sign anybody and just tank yet again. Try to get more draft picks. Try to get a number 1 overall pick. None of these guys really tickle my pickle. What did he say? I guess I can bring in Paul Cotter on a 1-year contract. Sure. I don't even know if he's going to accept. But yeah, we're going to leave it at that. We're not going to be signing anybody. DeBrincat, Gostisbehere, no thank you. The Paris Pylons have a way of doing things around here. Fuck you, Paul Cotter! I knew that man was going to reject me. It is high school all over again. Gavin McKenna is up to an 87 overall. P. Shorzy a 94. We got Line A on that top line. Patty Kane is washed. Roslovic's okay. Farabee's all right. This team's not going to win a lot of hockey games. We're really not. Defensively, we're good. Vince Dunn is the future of our back end. Mike Matheson, how? How are you down to an 82 overall? I'm paying you $6 million over the next 3 seasons. What a garbage contract. The bright spot of this franchise is our 79 overall, 18-year-old goaltender and Johnny Goalie. Future of the franchise. We got him and Shorzy and McKenna. We just got to fill out the pieces around them to build a cup contender. Probably going to be yet again another disappointing season. I'm okay with that. I'm trusting the process. I know it's going to be a multi-year thing to bring this team a Stanley Cup in NHL 26. We are at the very beginning stages of this rebuild. Eventually, it's going to pick up. We'll be a playoff contender. We'll make the postseason, probably get heartbreaked a few times, lose in embarrassing fashion, and then we will finally get it done. I don't think I want to go after anybody in free agency. Dorofeyev wouldn't be bad. He only has 1 year left on his contract, 4.1. He's going to want a massive raise, which realistically we could give him here in Paris. But if that's the case, I'm just going to wait to free agency. Wait until he is truly available. I'm not giving up my assets. 3rd consecutive season missing the playoffs. 37, 39, and 6. 80 points on the season. Dead last in the Metro. There will be a day when we're at the top of the NHL, but that day is not today. The Nashville Predators, best team in the NHL, followed by the Rangers and Florida. At the bottom, it was San Jose. Paris was not far behind them at 80 points. We might potentially move up in the draft lottery. That would definitely be good for this franchise. Shorzy will just continue to get better. 51 goals, 101 points. McKenna had 83. Line a 30-goal season. Vince Dunn was good on the back end, producing offense. Patrick Kane, despite being washed up at what, an 82 overall, I believe he is? Damn. The dude is still good. 27 goals, 53 points. Farabee had 50. Roslovic 49. And for Johnny Goalie, he only played 18 games because of Jonathan Quick, but in those 18 games, the man had a .930 save percentage. We got ourselves a gem. William Nylander leads the NHL in scoring with 129 points. The most goals are going to Matvei Mishkov, who had 66. That dude's going to be a monster. We got guys like Rantanen, McKinnon, Draisaitl, the typical bunch at the top. And of course, Nazem Kadri, who seems absolutely insane in this game. I really do got to lower this guy. 3rd season down the drain, but I'm honestly happy. I like where our team is at. I like the availability and the freedom we're going to have in free agency. One of these years, these off seasons, there's going to be a bunch of big name free free agents available, and I need to capitalize. That has been the goal since the jump, and we are inching closer and closer to that. Keeping the Canadian trend alive, the Winnipeg Jets will sweep the Red Wings in the Cup Finals. Kyle Connor will lead the way in scoring, 10 goals, 26 points. Matt Savoy had 25, Gabe Vilardi 23, Scheifele chipped in, Dylan Larkin led the way for the Dead Wings. Wasn't enough though. Leon the Ted Lindsay, Mishkov the Maurice Richard, Art Ross to Willie, and the Hart to Leon. Evan Bouchard another Norris. We got Kyle Connor winning the Conn Smythe, Dustin Wolf the Vezina, and the Selke to Anthony Cirelli. I've never seen him win this award before. The Montreal Canadiens, the team that literally just won a Stanley Cup, will now win the draft lottery. What are the odds? We moved down one spot to 7th. That's tough. NHL draft we go yet again. We'll sim the first overall pick, and it will be Luke Yonkman heading to Montreal. 88 overall, franchise medium potential. They're going to be an absolute dynasty. Is there anybody good available at 7? We could take this Petrovicki guy, top 6 medium playmaker. He's NHL ready in 3 seasons. Baldwin, he's NHL ready in 2 seasons, so I'm going to take the guy that's more ready to play at the National Hockey League level, top 6 medium potential. Overall, it's a pretty mid pick in my opinion. This franchise will be a Stanley Cup winning franchise in a few seasons, mark my words. I am going to let Patrick Kane walk to unrestricted free agency, as well as Farabee, although Farabee could come back. He's only 28 years old. Del Bel Baluz, I mean, this guy's 82 overall, 24 years of age. I'll qualify him, but I don't think I'm going to end up giving him a contract. I want as much salary cap available so I can go out there in free agency and I can cook. Farabee only wants 3.5 over the next 3 years. I'll lower the AAV, give him a no movement clause. $3 million, 3 seasons to remain as a pylon. Welcome back. We got guys like Keller, Dorofeyev, Tyler Toffoli, Trevor Moore. Not really the greatest free agency class. We could try to go after Keller, although he doesn't really have much interest in this organization. 11.8, no movement clause. I don't want to give him the no movement clause for the sole reason that I might end up trading him. But what if we give him like 12.3? I will go $12.5 million on a 6-year contract for Clayton Keller. Dorofeyev, I want to sign also, but the man really doesn't want to be in Paris. 7 mil, 4 seasons. I'll offer it to him. None of these guys really interest me. I think I'm just going to go ahead and waste another season. Actually, Mason Lohrei, 27 years old, 6.2 is kind of a lot of money for only an 84 overall player. We throw in a no movement clause. I can definitely lower that. 5.6, 4-year contract, full no movement clause. Clayton Keller has become the newest member of the Paris Pylons. Dorofeyev ended up rejecting, but we got Keller. That's our big name guy that we could potentially move because I did not give him a no movement clause. If we want to grab a defenseman, maybe a different forward. Although Keller might be a good fit for this franchise, he makes a little bit too much money for my liking. We got a beauty of a first line, Shorzy, McKenna, and Keller, 2 91s and a 95. Farabee will play alongside Roslovic and Line. Third and fourth lines are not great. Definitely need a lot of improvement in that category. Vince Dunn will remain our best defenseman at an 88. We got Darren Radish at an 85. Mike Matheson is completely washed up at 34 years of age. I've never seen this guy regress this much within 3 seasons. I mean, the dude is washed. $6 million contract for still 2 more years at a 79 overall. Arguably the worst deal of the entire video. Johnny Goalie has been bumped up to an 83 overall. He's officially our starter. My bad, Jonathan Quick. Gavin McKenna needs to be extended, and this guy's going to want the bag. I'm going to go full no movement clause because I can lower the AAV. This dude is going to be the future number 1 centerman. He already is the number 1 centerman of this franchise. 5-year contract's a little low. What if we go 6 seasons? He does not want a 6-year deal. A 5-year deal it is then. Gavin McKenna, we can lower the AAV a ton, brother. $9 million over the course of the next 5 seasons with a no movement clause in year 5. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is an absolute steal of a contract. I'm not going to lie. Having Gavin McKenna, a franchise centerman, locked up at, what, $9 million? 5-year contract. That's going to bode very well for this franchise in building a Stanley Cup contending team. If you are fully confident in the Paris Pylons winning a cup in the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. The road to 50K has already begun, and the road to a championship is on its way, just as expected. Trade deadline time. I think I am going to be moving Clayton Keller. We're not a good team. We're not going to make the playoffs this season. There's really nobody available that I'm that interested in. Dylan Holloway's making 10-7, dear God, at a 91 overall. I remember when a 91 would make like 8 or 9 mil. I have a very interesting proposal. Zach Benson for Clayton Keller. We're going to have to add in some draft picks. We are going to go a 2034 first round pick. We are also going to throw in a third, 2/3 actually, and we got to retain some salary. Not retain, but we got to take back some salary because the Buffalo Sabres right now are over the cap. I guess give me Michael Kesselring at 6'7" for the next 4 seasons. He's got little trade value. Throw him into the deal, and will it go through? No, they're not going to accept it. If I throw in another second round pick, though, could that potentially change their minds on a Clayton Keller proposal? Bang! Consider it a done deal. My first and only blockbuster of the video. We got younger, we got cheaper, and we got better. We will now rock out Benson, McKenna, and Shorzy, the greatest first line probably in the history of the National Hockey League. Not yet, but eventually. Yet again at the basement of the Metro, 32, 42, and 8, 72 points on the season. Not a lot of improvement thus far, but I have a feeling that will change. The Edmonton Oilers, another President's Trophy win. Philly's a very good hockey team with Mishkov. Calgary somehow is in the top 3. And the St. Louis Blues were the worst team in the National Hockey League. But the Perry Pylons, bottom 3, which means we have a realistic shot at winning the draft lottery. Dub. Shorzy continues to get better. 63 goals, 114 points, as well as McKenna, who also had 114. Zach Benson only 62, but he only played like 20-some games on that top line. Line A, 52. Farabee. We don't have a lot of secondary offense outside of our top line. And Johnny Goalie, this guy's going to take a little bit to develop. 4 shutouts, an 8.96 save percentage. He's only an 84. He will get there eventually. The Tampa Bay Lightning will return to the top of the league, winning the Stanley Cup, beating my Oilers in 6 games. Edmonton is still contending in the year 2029. Jake Gensel had the most points at 32, despite being 34 years old. Braden Point produced. We got Nikita Kucherov. The big 3 in Tampa Bay are still as good as ever. McDavid tried his best. Bouchard was good. McKinnon had 24. Nuge. He's 36 years old, putting up 7 goals and 24 points. That is a damn good playoff run, while Andrei Vasilevsky backstopped the team to a Stanley Cup victory. By the end of his career, Vasily's going to have one of the greatest legacies of all time. $8 million contract, blah, blah, blah. He's got 3 cups, a Conn Smythe, 3 Vezinas, and the dude right now is only an 83 overall backup goaltender. What is going on with everybody just massively regressing before 34? I swear it's not usually like this in NHL 26. Kucherov will grab the Ted Lindsay. We got Shorzy, the Maurice Richard, Nylander, the Art Ross, and Cooch the Hart. Cale Makar will take home the Norris, Gensel the Conn Smythe, Blackwood the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Nico Hischier. Unfortunately, the Pylons actually fell down 1 spot to 4th overall. Vancouver ended up winning it. They lost Quinn Hughes, so I mean, you got to reward them in some sort of way. Alexander Ovechkin has called it a career at age 43. Gino Malkin is gone. Ante Kopitar is out here. Erik Karlsson is gone also. Nazem Kadri, who really turned on his career mid to late 30s. All right, let's see who we can get at 4th overall in the NHL draft. Harold is available, elite 2-way forward, or do we take the sniper? I like the play style of a sniper much more than a 2-way guy. They are both NHL ready. I'm going to take Vrobrov or Vrobev. Vorobev. He is an 81 overall medium elite sniper. Nice. This Chris Harrison guy from the Edmonton Oil Kings, offensive defenseman, NHL ready in year 1. It says he's already a 77 overall with top 4 medium potential. That is a damn good pick. Back in the re-sign phase yet again. Not a lot of guys need to be signed. I am going to give my 4th overall draft pick his entry-level contract. Leave that guy walk. Roslovic, no thank you. I can't wait to get rid of Mason Lohrei. Maybe Patrick Laine's contract's not looking too hot now. He's got 2 more seasons left. So does Farabee. Dylan Holloway, LaFerriere, Heineman, Peyton Krebs, Eli Tolavainen. There is a plethora of good players available, but I gotta free up some cap space. We only have 22 mil. Unfortunately, Michael Kesselring makes too much. Oh my god, that Mike Matheson contract is absolutely horrific. Let me get rid of Kesselring. I'm gonna send him to a team that does have some salary available. The Los Angeles Kings, not a good team right now. In return, I would like a defenseman who is making like league minimum amount of dollars, but is a decent defenseman that I can add to my roster. They don't really have that guy, huh? Let me take Brutswitz. This guy's 22 years old, 76 overall, making league minimum. I know I'm getting kind of fleeced on this deal. Totally unwilling. All right, Los Angeles, I gotta throw you guys a bone and give you like a 5th and a 6th rounder just to get this guy on my roster. Bang, there we go. We are shedding cap space. We are going to bring in Nick Paul on a $4.6 million contract, 1-year deal with a full no movement clause. Nick Robertson wouldn't be a bad guy to bring in, but the dude wants 6.6. Eetu Luosterainen's 30 years old. Honestly, probably the perfect guy that I want to bring in, 4.1, 2 seasons. Alex Laferriere, this guy wants a no trade clause. We're not going to give him a clause in the contract. 7.4 over the next 4 seasons for a 27-year-old. Eetu Luosterainen ended up saying no. Laferriere accepted my offer. Nick Paul is headed to Dallas. Not really the greatest free agency. We got to get on a move, man. I'm starting to worry now. There are some guys here that I am unable to grab. Kirby Dach, I mean, we got 16 mil in cap space. We might as well go after him. $4.9 million. I'll give him 5, I guess, over the next 3 seasons, although I don't think he's going to accept. Adam Pelech, no thank you. No hook. I'm not really interested. Jake Middleton, hell no. To cap it all off, Kirby Dach has rejected my offer and went with the Colorado Avalanche. Laferriere, McKenna, and Shorzy on the top line, but I think I'm going to throw up Zach Benson instead. We need a true number 2 center. A second line centerman is what we really are missing. Our 4th line isn't great. 3rd line's decent, but we have 0 center depth whatsoever. I guess I could throw line A down the middle, throw up Farabee on the second line, but then we got 2 minuses in our bottom 6. Defensively, Dunn and Radish, Larson alongside Lorhai, and then we got the Harrison guy and Brutzwitz. Hopefully these guys can grow. The Huang, 7th defenseman, Alex Huang. The guy's probably never going to see the ice. My bad. And Johnny Goalie is still developing. The man is an 86 overall. He's still extremely young at 20 years of age. The one guy that we have to extend is our franchise goaltender, Johnny Goalie. He wants to be extended for 2 seasons. A bridge deal contract, 2.4 over the next 2 seasons. What if I can lock this man up long term? What if we do a long-term contract, Johnny Goalie? He only wants 4.8 over the next 6 years. I will gladly do that contract. I am going to go $5.9 million on a 6-year contract, and in year 6, he'll get a full no movement clause. We have locked up Johnny Goalie. I'm definitely entering the territory now where I don't take that step forward. I'm getting a little bit worried for Paris. The Pylons have not been getting better year by year. We're still dead last in our division, 7-7 to start the season. Maybe I got to start making some trades, but the free agency route really is not that glamorous. Haven't really been able to find a good player or a multitude of good players. We picked up a few, traded some. I want to keep my salary cap available because I know the longer we go, the more big name free agents will be available. I guess only time will tell. Hopefully we can actually make the postseason one of these years, gain some experience, and then build towards a Stanley Cup championship run. Here we are at the trade deadline. We actually have a winning record. Braden Schneider and Tage Thompson are available. Maybe we could snag both of these guys. TNT would be the best second line centerman that we could possibly grab. Let's go a 2031 first rounder, throw in a 2nd and a 3rd for Tage Thompson on an expiring contract. It is a done deal in Buffalo. Braden Schneider is another guy that I love picking up in my GM modes. He's the perfect defenseman. Defensive D-man, doesn't make a lot of money. He's a decent overall. We're probably going to have to give up another first rounder, 2035 first round pick, throw in a 2nd and a 4th instead into the deal. I'm going to remove the 2nd round pick just to make sure, and bang, I didn't even need the 2nd. Braden Schneider is a member of the Paris Pylons, and we are looking very dangerous now. Braden Schneider is going to be a long-term member of Paris, so I can give him a full no movement clause. I'm going to lower the AAV as far as I can go. $6.3 million, 3-year contract for Schneider, and then we also got to lock up TNT Tage Thompson, a little bit older, 89 overall. He wants 9.8. That is a massive contract, dude. I don't know if I'm comfortable giving him that. Not with a no movement clause, that's for sure. Let me try to lowball offer this man. We're going to lower this down as far as we can go. I know it's going to drop a little bit. What about 9.3, 4-year contract with no clause in the deal? Still going to run out Benson, McKenna, and Shorzy, and then we'll have Laferriere, Thompson, and Line. Defensively, Braden Schneider and Vince Dunn are a great number 1 D-line pairing. Tage Thompson has accepted my offer, as well as Braden Schneider. We got both men locked up, as the Paris Pylons might actually be moving forward to their first ever playoff run. Please do not jinx it. Talk about falling off. 92 points, 1 less than the Washington Capitals, who made it in. The Pylons went 43, 33, and 6. Yet again, missing the postseason, but was our best season of the entire video. Toronto won the President's Trophy, and at the bottom, we get the Buffalo Sabres. Stars. We're not a basement team anymore, but we're not good enough to be a playoff team. Shorzy had an 82-goal regular season. The man was goal per game, 128 points, carrying the load. Pause. Gavin McKenna had 124, Benson 103, Tage Thompson 78. Like, we had a lot of offense, but I have a feeling it was our defense that let us down. Johnny Goalie did have 8 shutouts, only a .905 save percentage, though. Tommy Egg Matthews will lead the way in points with 132, and of course, P. Shorzy, the most goals in a single season in a very long time at 82. The GOAT. Canadian teams have dominated the video, and that trend will continue. The Flames winning the Stanley Cup, beating Toronto in a typical Toronto Maple Leaf Game 7 fashion. Biggest losers of all time, maybe? Austin Matthews had 39 points, 19 goals. Nylander had 36, Sharangovich 25, Matt Nyes 23, and yeah, Calgary still got it done in Game 7. That says a whole lot more about Toronto and their lack of success than anything else. Shorzy will take home the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, Matthews the Art Ross and Hart Trophy, Bouchard another Norris, Conn Smythe will go to Sharangovich, Arthur Shilov's the Vezina, and the Selke to Macklin Celebrini. Paris Pylons will not move whatsoever, as we are going to be selecting 16th overall in the draft. Showtime Patrick Kane is going to retire on top, winning a Stanley Cup in Calgary. Goodbye to Steven Stamkos. Artemi Panarin is retiring. Brad Marchand, Jamie Benn, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Braden Kane, potential marquee goaltender. He's listed as a gem. He's NHL ready in 5 seasons, though. We do not have 5 years to wait, but we do got to take one of these goaltenders. I think I'm going to go with a gem instead. The centerman, Lampkin. AJ Lampkin's NHL ready in 3 seasons. Medium elite potential. I'm going to go off limb. Off a limb? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to take that guy. He's got top 6 medium potential. Not the worst pick in the world. I'm definitely going to live with it. And then we will also draft Braden Kane, hybrid goaltender with medium elite potential. Could be trade bait. The bad news is Shorzy only has 1 year left on his contract, as well as Zach Benson. Those guys are going to want a massive raise. Noah Cates, I might end up re-signing. He's only 31 years old. Darren Radish and Adam Larson are probably gone. I'm not going to sign our young prospect yet. We got 3 seasons until he's, or actually 2 years until he's a UFA. I'm good off that, little bro. $2.3 million, 2 years with a full no movement clause. Unfortunately, we got to clear some cap space, and I think Laferriere might be the guy to go. A lot of these guys got no movement clauses. It has to be Laferriere. 87 overall, 28 years of age. Let me find a young guy I can trade him for. I'm going to be trading him for Stolars and Tomic from the Anaheim Ducks. 2 young guys locked up on their entry-level contracts for 2 and 3 seasons, got top 6 medium potential. I doubt anybody will think Anaheim came out on the short end of the stick with this trade. Consider it a done deal. The reason I did that is because Brant Clark is available and this man wants to come to Paris. 3-year contract, 11-7. Wait, what? I thought this dude wanted to be in Paris. I don't think we're going to end up signing him. $11 million, 11.8, 11.9. That's a lot of money for Brant Clark with a no movement clause in the deal. I'm going to give him that contract. He's worth that money. 27 years of age. We will give it to him. But unfortunately, I don't think he's going to end up accepting. There's guys like Point, McAvoy, Suzuki are also available. Seth Jones, I do not want. He wants 11.2 at 35 years old. Not happening, bud. What if we pick up Maverick Bourque instead? A 4-year contract. We can lower the AAV. 6.3 on a 4-year contract. And that man will accept on the spot. Tyson Forrester, 4.9, 5 years on the deal. Hopefully he will end up signing in Paris. Brant Clark is not going to be a member of the Pylons. We do not have the salary cap space available anymore. I think the organization interest went down because I traded Laferriere, a former Los Angeles King. I have already fired my head coach and I want to grab either John Cooper or Chris Knobloch. We tried on Coop a few seasons ago. It did not go our way. He's back out on the market, $9.9 million. Dude, I am offering you the absolute bag. Finally, we got our guy in John Cooper to be our head coach, the captain, the chief, the man who rewrites the ship here in Paris. Of course, Brant Clark ended up rejecting my offer. Tyson Forrester will be welcomed in Paris. Who's in Paris? It's going to be tough trying to re-sign all of our players, but we're still going to run out Benson, McKenna, and Shorzy. Tage Thompson, our second-line center with Forrester and Laine. Maverick Bourque, Farabee, and Noah Cates is a damn good third line. We are finally looking like a true cup contender. At least offensively, defensively, we're pretty good. We got some low overalls in the mix, though. And Johnny Goalie now may be considered elite. The dude is an 88 overall. This guy's legit. Oh my God. Shorzy wants the absolute bag. $19 million would definitely hurt this hockey team. We cannot go that high at all. We got to lower this as far as we can go just to snag this guy and bring him back to the roster. $19 17, way too high. 13.5 sounds a little bit better over the course of 7 seasons with a full no movement clause, and that man accepted on the spot. GM Pasta absolutely cooking. Zach Benson also is going to be a challenge. I don't really want to give this man, oh my god, he wants 13.8. We only can give him 12.1, so I don't know if we're going to get this contract done. We might have to trade him at the deadline, although I don't really want to. What if I go 11.9 over the next 7 seasons in Paris? Bang! I've now gotten everybody locked up. This team is ready to take that next step, make the postseason, gain some experience, and finally bring a Stanley Cup championship to the city of Paris. The Eiffel Tower is waiting. God damn it. If we don't make the playoffs, man, I might have to call it a video. What am I going to do? We've been absolutely garbage basically the entire sim so far. Finally, a trade deadline I can hop into with a good record. We are firmly in a playoff position, looking at trying to add to this team and maybe put us over the top. Why is Tage Thompson available? Nobody ran this by me. I finally found a guy that we're going to go all in on. So 2 first-rounders and a second for Sugar Shane Wright. We will make sure they retain some salary as we cannot bring back a $7 million contract. This is high risk, high reward. If we don't win the Stanley Cup, it's a disaster because Wright probably walks in unrestricted free agency. If we do win the cup, it was all worth it in the end. Bang! Consider it a done deal. Sugar Shane Wright, that center depth no longer is lacking. The only bad news of the trade is Shane Wright probably will not be coming back. The man wants $10 million. I'm not giving him that contract. It is a playoff run rental. Finally, a successful regular season. 51-27-4, 106 points in the Metro Division at the absolute top. And we would be a top 5 team in the league for the very first time in franchise history. Winnipeg won the most games at 52. And at the bottom, we have the sad and lonely Pittsburgh Penguins. No Sidney Crosby to save them. Shoresy had 69 goals, 128 points, leading the way offensively. Gavin McKenna with 96, Tage Thompson 85, Zach Benson 82. Vince Dunn had an 80-point season as a defenseman, and for Johnny Goalie, only a 905. He played all 82. A very solid record, and he is one of the biggest reasons why we are in a playoff spot. Shoresy would have the most points at 128 and the most goals at 69. 6'9". Finally, we get a playoff matchup, and it will be the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. 6 years into the simulation, they still have Kucherov, but he is washed up at this point. Mika Zibanejad's their top line center. I gotta be honest. Outside of Hagel, they don't really have much offensively. Defensively, I'm not worried in the slightest. And then Andrei Vasilevsky no longer is a starting goalie. It is an 87 overall Mackenzie Blackwood instead. We are very clearly the better team, which means we will lose. It is a 2-2 tie after the first 4. I thought we'd blow them out of the water, but that's definitely not the case. We end up winning game number 5. Can we eliminate the Lightning in game 6 and head on to the second round? First ever franchise playoff series victory. It'll be Washington in round 2. They got Leonard, Protas, and McMichael on their top line. Dylan Strome is still good at an 88. PLD's an 86. Top 6 is not bad. Bottom 6 isn't anything special. Defensively, Chicky's an 89. Faravari 86. Not really the greatest decor. And Logan Thompson is only an 86. Another beatable hockey team. It all comes down to this. Game 7, second round. Game 7, do or die, and entering the third period, it is an absolute blowout. Goals from McKenna, Thompson, 2 from Shoresy. Thompson's got a pair, and it looks like as long as we hold on here in the third, the Paris Pylons should be moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, winning their first ever back-to-back playoff series. I mean, we've never made the playoffs before. Very first postseason run will result in an Eastern Conference Finals berth. We were made for this. It is going to be the Detroit Dead Wings in round 3. They probably have the best roster that we faced so far. I mean, Lucas Raymond's their best forward at a 91. Our top line absolutely blows theirs out of the water. Larkin's not a bad second line center. Rest of the forward core isn't much. Mo Sizzy's an 89. He will be the best defenseman, as well as Axel Sandin Pellikka in the series. And then Devin Levi's decent. He's an 86 overall. So far, so good. We got a 3-1 series advantage, trying to close out the Dead Wings in Game 5 on home ice. Finally can be our time to advance to to the Cup Finals. First period, we got a 2-1 lead. Vince Dunn and Braden Schneider. Second period, it is all knotted up at 3, but Noah Cates will score on Devin Levi, giving us the advantage here in the third period. A 4-3 hockey game. Shots are even. Detroit on the power play. And P. Shorzy will extend our lead to 2. It is finally time. We get some actual gameplay. 3:21 left to spare in the third period. A potential advance to the Stanley Cup Finals is on the horizon for Paris. The Pylons have waited for this moment for so long. We literally miss the postseason every single year besides this year. So we are back. We are better than ever. I don't know why they're wearing blue in the stands. They're supposed to be wearing orange. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all that matters is a Stanley Cup victory, and that is offside on the play. Hilarious computer AI. P. Shorzy leading the way offensively. 27 points on the postseason. We got 57 seconds to spare here in the third. Shooting Detroit 39-30. Can the Red Wings somehow claw their way back into the game? They're down by 2. They've emptied their net. Coming to the zone. Do they get it? No. Bad turnover. Done. Headmans that puck all the way to Gavin McKenna, and he will bury it. His second of the game. Icing on the cake, and that will most certainly send us to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Paris Pylons, they've been waiting so long to have some success, and in year number 6, I believe, we finally will reach the promised land. I have to stay. I have to witness the celebration. It's been a long road to get here. We only got 45 seconds to go. It's a done deal. Paris is moving on. I'm not worried at all. P. Shorzy, get another goal, buddy. Add to your... Oh my God, Shorzy in. Why? Why did he pass that puck? That dude was on a breakaway. EA Sports, you guys really have to explain this. P. Shorzy busting wide, using his speed. This is a beautiful play by the AI. He gets around both defensemen. He's in on the breakaway, and the guy decides to pass it off to the guy who was literally stopped up, not even moving. He could have taken it. Forehand, backhand, top cheddar, but instead, no, right in the glove of Devin Levi. That is just bad programming at its finest. 35 seconds to spare. 3-1 series advantage. Better be 4-1. We're gentlemen. Obviously, we have to give the Red Wings a game. We want to give them some hope. But the Paris Pylons, they're going to be advancing to the Cup Finals. Gavin McKenna centers that puck up to Zach Benson. He's got no energy, though. Cross ice to Vince Dunn. Dunn to Benson to McKenna, trying to rip a shot on net. Dunn spinning. No shot to be had. Less than 10 seconds remain here in the third period. Alex DeBrincat goes cross ice. The Dead Wings, they are dead in the water. 4 seconds to spare. And the Paris Pylons in year number 6 will be advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals. It has been a long, hard road, but we finally have found some success here in Paris. And we will play for Lord Stanley for the first time in franchise history, hopefully getting it done. After only starting out with one player on the roster, that was Shorzy, who started it all, alongside a bunch of bums, and now he has the opportunity as the captain to lead this team to a championship. Connor Bedard up against P. Shorzy in the Stanley Cup Finals. Pylons against Blackhawks. Vedzi is only a 94 overall, so Shorzy will be the best player in the series. Teuvo Teravainen's an 86, and Nazar 86. I gotta be honest, how did this team make the Cup Finals? They do have a lot of depth, but really outside of Vedzi, not a lot of top-end talent. That is the reason why. A 97 overall Quinn Hughes, Lev Shunov's an 87, Korchinski 87. Their D-core definitely is better than ours, and then Spencer Knight also. He's a good goaltender, 30 years old, 87 overall. This might be tough. We were down 3-1 early on in the series. We've clawed all the way back to force a Game 7 in Chicago. The Stanley Cup is in the building. Both teams have an opportunity to win it. This is as big as it gets, honestly. We got a 2-0 lead after one. Zach Benson and Noah Cates second period, and it is a 3-1 advantage. The Paris Pylons have gone on the road in the United Center in a Game 7. Oh my God, no. Connor Bedard, please do not be the result. Yes, Tage Thompson extends our lead back to 2. I think we got to hop in. I think we have to see some actual Game 7 hockey. Of course, as soon as I hop in, we extend our lead back to 2. Connor Bedard is straight up carrying the Blackhawks in this Game 7. Without him, they're no doubtably cooked. But right now, they're only down by 2. Lots of time left. We got, what, 5:30, 5:20 left remaining here in Game 7. as Spencer Knight will make the save. He Shorzy up to 34 points in the playoff run. McKenna's got 25. The Pylons offense has been a big contribution as to why we are here right now. It has been a long time coming. Oh my God, Benson in the slot, and Spencer Knight makes the save. Get there, Shorzy. That's all you. Back to the blue line. D to D. Schneider, floaty little backhand. I don't know what he was thinking there, but he got a shot on net and an offensive zone draw. I can 100% live with that offensive zone draw. We end up losing it. Bedard back to the blue line. Down to McKenna. Shorzy trying to walk it out in front. 3:15 left to play here in the third period. A multi-goal lead by the Pylons out in front. Tavo terrifying and missing the net. Vince Dunn, you got to get it out. Get the red line and dump it in deep. All right, Gavin. McKenna losing it over. Benson wires one. Trying to go 5-hole from the slot. Honestly, probably not the best strategy right now, especially on a slap shot. Gavin McKenna getting board played. Uh-oh. Levshunov dumps it in. All right, buddy, you got less than a minute left in your season. You're going to dump that puck in. You do you. Empty net for Chicago? No empty net yet. McKenna to the outside. We can't get a shot on goal. Filipino with the turnover. Shane Pinto, and there it is. Chicago going for it. They have emptied their crease. 38 seconds to spare. McKenna to Harrison all alone, and he misses the wide open net. Harrison over Cates. Yes, there it is. Noah Cates will bury it, extending our lead to 3, and the Paris Pylons, after 6 long seasons, will win the Stanley Cup in the United Center off of a Game 7 victory. Down 3-1 in the Cup Finals. They wrote us off. They wrote us out. Very first playoff run, and we're Stanley Cup champions. No experience needed. We go all the way. We get the job done, and I've completed the challenge of bringing a brand new franchise to the National Hockey League, starting with absolutely nobody outside of Shorzy, and leading them to a Stanley Cup victory. The Conn Smythe, of course, the man who started it all. 17 goals, 34 points, captain of the team. He's the reason we're here. He's the only reason that we were a franchise at the beginning. So it's right that he takes home the Conn Smythe. Really, the only negative is that we did not win it on home ice. I would love to see our arena absolutely jumping into Game 7, but on the road in Chicago, Shorzy and the Pylons get it done. Captain Shorzy, for the very first time, is a Stanley Cup champion. Zach Benson, a very important piece of this franchise. We picked him up via trade. Who did we end up moving to Buffalo? I can't even remember at this point. I think it was Keller that we ended up trading, and Zach Benson, I mean, he was the better player. He was here long term. He won here. How could I forget Johnny Goalie, the man that literally fell into my lap, 9th overall. I thought he would have been taken way before that, but this dude has been a franchise goaltender since the jump, and now he's a Cup champion. And then finally, Vince Dunn. I would have liked to gone to Gavin McKenna or somebody else, but he was not available. Dunn is the guy on the back end. Definitely helped solidify our D-core and definitely helped us win a Stanley Cup. What a playoff run it was. Shorzy had 17 goals, 17 apples, 34 points in only 25 games. McKenna with 9 goals, 25 points. Benson was a solid piece. Paige Thompson, 14 goals as our second line center. The man's 33 years old, only an 86 overall. Vince Dunn had 20 points. Noah Cates is like a third liner, putting up 18 points in 25 games. How could I forget Jonathan Goalie, man? 16 wins, 6 losses, 3 shutouts, and a .920 save percentage in his very first playoff run ever. Talk about being clutch. The Paris Pylons have accomplished their goal of winning a Stanley Cup. Shorzy will take home all the major individual hardware. Hughes the Norris, the Conn Smythe the Shorzy, Spencer Knight the Vezina, and Luke Yonkman the Selke. Trader. The Seattle Kraken will win the draft lottery. Anaheim second. Oh my God, the Ducks went from 11th to 2nd? Talk about being rigged. Claude Giroux is retiring as a member of the Los Angeles Kings. Roman Josi in Nashville. Matt Duchene in Pitt. Granlund's gone. Evander Kane, Vladimir Tarasenko, NHL 17 cover athlete, and one of the greatest goaltenders of all time in Andrei Vasilevsky. 3 cups, Conn Smythe, 3 Vezinas, and a William M. Jennings. I think I'm fully comfortable going one more season. To try to go back-to-back. If we fail, we end the video. If we succeed, maybe we come back for a 3-peat. Shane Wright, of course, not going to be coming back to Paris. 87 overall, doesn't want an extension. He wants like $10 million. Gonna lose Farabee, Patty Laine, luckily Hopefully his contract's off the books, but everybody else is locked up on this roster. We literally have $1.6 million to spend in free agency. The unfortunate part about that is I can't grab anybody. Look at all these players too. They are lining up to play in Paris after winning the Stanley Cup. Oh, how the turntables. We definitely do not have the depth that we once had. Still got a great top line. Shorzy, Benson, and McKenna. Forrester alongside TNT and Maverick Bourque, who has grown to an 87. Vorobev is an 85 alongside Noah Cates and Tomic. We got Stolars, Anthony, and Halmerson. A lot of our young guys now are finally ready for the National Hockey League. Carl Anthony is the 1 weak point at a 69 overall. 6'9". Dunn and Schneider, Brutzewitz alongside Lorhai, and then we got Harrison and Crozier. Harrison has not grown. The dude's 20 years old. He spent, I believe, 2 seasons now in the National Hockey League, and he's not bumped up at all. He's got top 4 medium potential. I thought a little bit more growth than that, but luckily Johnny Goalie, 89 overall. He's the starter. He's the not the Conn Smythe winner, but the Stanley Cup winning goaltender. He's our guy. The good thing is I don't have to worry about extending anybody. Vince Dunn's contract is up, but this is probably going to be my final season. Mason Lorhai needs a contract. Vorobev needs one too. I'm just here to enjoy the moment, and I'm here to try to go back-to-back with the Paris Pylons. Who's in Paris? Here we are at the NHL trade deadline yet again. I'm probably going to try to add somebody, maybe a guy like Dorofayev. Ah, never mind. Clause protected. God damn it. We do want to get a rental because this is the final year of the video. Maybe Brady could... Oh my god, everybody don't want to come. Nobody wants to come to Paris. I'm going to end up giving up all my draft capital. I do not need it. 2 seconds, 2 firsts. William Nylander is the guy I'm going after. He's 35 years old. He can still produce like an absolute monster. 91 overall. If they end up retaining 50% of the contract, we're still going to be over the cap. All right, somebody has to go. We got to give up a forward. Unfortunately, I think Forrester's that guy. 30 years old, 84 overall. Throw him into the trade for William Nylander from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that is a done deal. We are geared up and we are ready to go back-to-back. We're going to keep the top line the same, but a 91 Nylander on the second line makes us that much better. Thompson and Bourque will play alongside of them. Vorobev, Tomic, and Cates, and then we got Halmerson, the 69 overall, and Stolars. Back-to-back Metropolitan Division winners, 52, 23, and 7. A better record than we had last season, and we were the best team in the entire NHL en route to going back-to-back. New Jersey had a strong season. Dallas, Nashville, and Montreal will round out the top 5, and the Vegas Golden Knights. It is good to see them down at the bottom. McKenna will have a career season. 42 goals, 129 points. Nylander had 110. How many did he have with the Pylons? Ended up with 90 in Toronto, and then had 20 in 13 games with us. Honestly, good numbers. Shorzy had a 60-goal season. Zach Benson, 96 points. Vince Dunn was almost point per game as a defenseman, and then Johnny Goalie, 5 shutouts, 907 save percentage, and a 51-win season. McKenna will lead the NHL in scoring at 129, and for the most goals, that will go to Matvei Mishkov, who posted 63. Bedard had 61, Shorzy had 60, and we got the Toronto Maple Leafs in the very first round. We traded Tyson Forrester there for William Nylander. You know he wants to get his revenge. Overall, this team really doesn't rival us, so maybe they sim well, maybe they beat us. I got my Stanley Cup already. We should be able to absolutely decimate this roster. No joke. I will be very surprised if they end up beating us here in the first round. We win game 1 4-1, end up losing game 2. We know the EA Sim engine sometimes just absolutely screws me. I'm feeling confident in the Pylons though. We are the reigning defending champs for a reason, and we are trying to go back-to-back here in year number 7, I believe, 2032. I wonder if Grand Theft Auto 6 has been released yet. We have a 3-1 series lead entering game 5, and entering the third period, we are up 3-0. Thanks to Tomic and Zach Benson, as well as Tage Thompson, TNT putting home some goals, as the Toronto Maple Leafs will end up losing 4-1 and get dusted in 5 games, as they should. The New Jersey Devils, they got Bratt, Hughes, and Meyer on the top line. Jack Hughes being a 95 overall. Nico Heischer's a second-line center and a Selke Trophy winner. Jimmy Snuggerud's on the roster. Dawson Mercer's still there. Cody Glass defensively. Luke Hughes is a 90. Arbor Jack guys got some X factors, and Mikhail Sergachev is an 87. Well, they got Arthur Shilovs as their goaltender. Definitely a better team than the Maple Leafs. It has been a close series thus far, all knotted up at 2, heading into a very pivotal game number 5 that we win, and then we go on the road in Jersey for game 6. Let's close out the series and head back to the conference finals. Down by 2 after 1, we tie it up, McKenna and Noah Cates, and then we have a massive third period, getting massively outshot, 29-17, but somehow we're in this game. Thank you, Johnny Goalie. 5-on-3 power play, and P. Shorzy on Arthur Shelovs will score, giving us the advantage. Gavin McKenna adds insult to injury. That is an insurance marker that we desperately needed here in the third, and the Paris Pylons are headed back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Moving on to the Ottawa Senators. Tkachuk, Cousins, and Batherson are still all on the team. They got Marcel Gock. It's his son Marcus. Eli Tolavainen is there. Andrei Kuzmenko. Ivan. Defensively, Jake Sanderson's a 90. Thomas Chabot's kind of washed, and they don't really have the greatest starting goalie, only at an 84. We have a 3-1 series advantage in Game 5 in Paris. First period, 1-1 tie. Second period, all knotted up at 2. It has been a very close hockey game thus far on the power play. Can anybody strike? No, we cannot, but Gavin McKenna will get us on the board, giving us the lead. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, oh my god. Marcel Gock's son, Marcus. Luckily, TNT responds. It is now a 4-3 advantage. Here we go. Late stages of the third to head back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the second consecutive season. Let's cook here, Perry. Oh my god, Shorzy is so insanely fast. Why is he a passer? This dude is a sniper. He was goal per game one season. I don't know why. He's skating wide, beating everybody, and then just playing it to the middle. Brady Tkachuk. Toe drag release, maybe? Tkachuk, you got no hands, brother. Bro is straight up chopping onions right there. Oh my god, Tkachuk in front of the net. That's where he's dangerous. Empty net for the Sens. 45 seconds remain. A horrible turnover. Benson, move the puck. What are you waiting for? McKenna to Shorzy, who ends up missing it. I don't know what the Pylons were thinking. Clearly, not a lot going through their head right now. Tkachuk, he's going to lose the puck yet again. And then Zach Benson missing the wide open net. Can McKenna tuck it? No, he can't. Off the post. We got 20 seconds to go. Who is that? Is that Vince Dunn in the corner? Was my defenseman in the corner when we're up by 1 late in the third period? EA, what, you guys trying to hose me here? Uh-oh, Batherson into the zone. Over Holmstrom. What a save by Johnny Goalie. No, Holmstrom, another great save. 5 seconds remaining, and the Paris Pylons, for the second consecutive season, we'll head to the Stanley Cup Finals. We will have an opportunity to cap off the video going back to back and ride off into the sunset as not only Cup champions, but a little mini dynasty here in Paris. We have a shot at history up against the Colorado Avalanche in the Cup Finals. The days of Nathan McKinnon are no longer. They got Matt Nyes, Martin Necas, and Kirby Dack as their top line. Crosby still playing. He's 44 years old. Dude, come on, hang him up. Val Nichushkin's only an 83. Do they have Makar? Kale Makar is still good. He's a 96 overall at age 33, holding together that back end, and then only an 81 netminder. How do these guys make the Cup Finals? I honestly don't understand it. They clearly have the EA Sim engine on their side, which makes them dangerous. But the Paris Pylons, they're clearly the better hockey team between the two. Can we finish it out? Home ice game 5, please. No, we lost 2 games on the road. It is a 2-2 series tie. We lose game 5 and now face elimination in Colorado in game 6. Come on, Paris. What are we doing? First period, down by 1. Second period, again. We are down by 1 entering the third. Things are not looking great right now. 17 minutes to go. Hallis will extend the lead on Johnny Goalie. There it is. The EA Sim engine at its finest. Explain to me how that roster is good enough to fucking decimate us like this. Treat us like children after we deservingly should go back to back. One of the worst rosters of all time I think I've ever seen win the Stanley Cup. Just fucking did it. I don't believe it. Stomped us 6-3, and that's all she wrote, I guess. Gavin McKenna was our best player. 11 goals, 29 points. Benson had 23. Dunn 23. Shorzy, come on, brother. Only 12 goals in 22 games? I thought you were a sniper. Gavin McKenna is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Norris will go to Rasmus Dahlin. Makar will win the Conn Smythe. Spencer Knight the Vezina, and the Selke to Luke Yonkman. At the end of the day, I did get the job done. Completed my goal of winning the Pylons a Stanley Cup in NHL 25. It was a hard thing to do. Took a lot of seasons of just straight up losing, and then miracle in year number 6, year 7, we made it back to the Cup Finals. Got absolutely hosed by EA Sports. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see next. I thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.